Ja, grüß Gott zusammen. Laut
Oh, hello everyone.
ein Klassiker über Generationen hinweg.
A classic
Im Fußball heißt das natürlich Bayern München.
is a classic over more generations, and in football that means it's against Borussia Dortmund. We opened the bottle. I don't know whether
Hallo Thomas, grüß euch und bitte.
you received it the way I was addressing it to you, so let's start with the questions.
Ich würde Dieters Einleitung direkt aufgreifen, also der Klassiker.
Den Duden.
It is the classic.
Und die Konstellation, sonst ist es ja immer ein Duell, wo es
In that constellation, it was often about the championship, but this time with the advantages Leverkusen has, it's a bit of a different story. Does it feel differently, or is it the classic as always? Well, the table is as it is, and we cannot change it at this moment, but we can win a classic. And tomorrow, when we enter the stadium, it's going to feel completely normal. As always, a very emotional game, a very important game, and very important for the Bundesliga with a big rivalry and history, so it's not a difference. There are a couple of question marks behind Manuel Neuer, who hasn't practiced yesterday. Will he be available for tomorrow? No, he's out. Pablo is not available as well. Rafa Guerrero, it's a bit too early for him. And Sasha got injured during the weeks. So those four will be missing.
Hallo Tuchel, die Diskussion Ihre Nachfolge sind in voller Munde.
The discussion about your successor is on now. What does it take for someone to coach Bayern Munich? Well, next question. No, I'm not going to get involved into the discussion about my successor.
Hier drüben Stefan Kumberger für Sport 1.
Grüß Sie, Herr Tuchel. Kurze Frage zu Harry Kane. Ist da
Short question about Harry Kane. Is he at 100 or 1,000%? Yes, he practiced completely yesterday with the team, and he was practicing better and more every day, so he's going to play tomorrow. Then Leon Goretzka, he was not at the national team. How did you see him this week? Did you talk to him during the week? No, I didn't talk to him particularly, but we had a small group and we were close anyway. And so you meet more often than usually at the physio, during the practice, during lunch or breakfast, and that we talk about it. But if we hadn't known this, you really hadn't thought that he was not part of the national team, was practicing well, he was in good mood, and he's going to play the way he always does. Kingsley Coman could be an option for the squad. Which factor could he be for the last part of the season? Well, he's a big factor for us. He's going to be returning to the squad. Same with Serge. He was one of the best in the preseason, but we've been missing him for almost the entire season. They're very important with their speed, with their goal-scoring prowess, and they are also very aware in defending. So we have more to choose from up front, and we have more of a fight for the places just like we wished for, and that's probably could make a difference, and it will give us more quality in order to get more decision into our games. Well, Kingsley, yes, he's going to be in the squad, and Serge as well. If nothing else happens, but that should be normal. Serge had 2 short stints. He was out for quite a while, for a couple of months. And Kingsley is now, for the first time, back in the squad. He wasn't part of the squad against Darmstadt. So they both practice very well, and the quality is out of question. And their influence they have in the team offensively and defensively as well, so they're going to be on the bench. What kind of game do you expect tomorrow? Will it be end-to-end stuff, or how do you expect Borussia Dortmund? And how did you see the national team in the last couple of days? A lot has been made about, well, they're going to exit in the group stage, or they are favorites for the European Cup. Well, it's more you to blame for that roller coaster ride. But both games were really good, very dominant, and they won it deservedly against difficult opponents. They were leading early in one game, they were trailing early in one game, but they really did a good job of winning in those games and very convincing. What were the other questions? Well, I expect an opponent, Borussia Dortmund, who wants to win and who want to continue their run. They're offensively very strong, got lots of speed up front, very flexible in their attacks, who want to have the ball, and why it's going to be a really end-to-end game, but obviously we want to win this game. We are very convinced. We're on a good run, we're in a good mood. The players are going to come back from the national teams, but unfortunately a couple of will be out again after we had the whole squad available against Darmstadt, but now we are missing 4 players. But still the mood is right, good atmosphere, and the last games we were offensively very strong, and if we have that bite and if we place close together, we have all the possibilities to win, and that's what we want to do. Mr. Tuchel, it was the last national team break for you as a Bayern Munich coach. It's the home stretch now. Is it business as usual for you, or do you do any things differently? Well, no, it's completely normal. It's had nothing to do with my exit in the summer. This national team break in March is always a difficult timing because those are decisive weeks. Usually there are only friendlies, but we are all honest, it's not a national team break that really fits well, because you are preparing for the home stretch, for the decisive phase of the season. We're in the knockout stages of the Champions League, and that's why when everybody comes back, it's really very close, because today's Friday, tomorrow we have the classic with the floodlights, and obviously we are telling our players what it's all about. We're getting closer towards the end of the season. Everyone is fighting to be on the pitch for those decisive weeks, and that's what we want to see, and that's what we want to encourage. And that's completely normal, no matter whether I will be there come next season or not, because this is the phase where we have to show what we are all about. Eric Dyer and Matthijs de Ligt were forming good partnership in central defense. How are Upamecano Kim dealing with that situation? Are they pushing themselves, or what is the thinking of those central defenders in Spain? Chirinito was reporting that you have no real relationship with Brian Zaragoza and we're not talking to him. What can you tell us about it? Well, I don't know whether this is really worth answering, but I would say that I was completely involved in him signing for Bayern Munich, and that's not without a relationship, and that's not without talks. I was part of that final decisive talk with Christoph Freund and with the father and of Brian, and his agent was translating for us, as we don't speak Spanish, but with the emotion, with gestures, and with the looks, we were convincing him to sign. And we had that injury situation with Kingsley, Serge, Leroy, when we thought, well, maybe it would make sense to get Brian in early. And obviously we took him out of his environment, out of his German lessons in Spain, and we are talking German and English here, and so he has to work with a translator. Nico Meyer is translating exclusively for Brian, so he is his main contact. If this is the background of that report, then it is right, because I unable to speak Spanish, but Nico knows this, so Nico is talking to him all the time, and this is his main contact. So if that is the basis of that report, then that is true, but if that leads to the conclusion that I'm not talking to him or that I don't have a relationship, then it's just nonsense. And the first part, well, at the moment, Kim and Upa have a lot of quality, but the other two are playing in central defense now. And we finally had a week ahead of those national team breaks where we had the chance to play 11 against 11 with both teams having central defenders who could play in every league game, and that makes the quality of those practice sessions so good, and we realized that, and nobody really is doubting the quality of Minje and Upa, and nobody forgot how good they were playing for us at Manchester, against Stuttgart, at home, and so on. So we haven't forgotten that, but still, due to injuries and a bit of difficult games of Upa individually, we were making that change, and the other two were really doing a good job, and that is a really healthy fight for places that we have on. The door is not closed for anyone, and it is a situation that we had wished for more often, but we had not too often. So I'm happy that everyone is back now, and everyone has the possibility to show that he wants to play, and we are heading into intensive weeks where we're going to need anyone anyway. Mr. Tuchel, in the last hours, there were a couple of reports that Xabi Alonso was deciding against the interest of a couple of other clubs to stay at Leverkusen into the next season as well. Is that a decision that surprises you, or can you understand this situation? Well, let's wait whether that is correct that you are talking about, and I don't know whether I'm the right person to talk to. It's Xavi's decision, and he's going to make it for himself, and it doesn't make sense to comment on that. So, one more. Manuel Neuer is only out for the game against Dortmund, but he's not going to miss more games. Is the risk too big looking ahead to Arsenal? No, it's not about a risk. It's just impossible to bring him on. It's hurting too much, and we hope that a week will be enough, so we'll get him back against Heidenheim. So thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.